Warning, warning. 2 idiots are reading the SCP files over the intercom. Please cover your ears and await further instructions. Hello and welcome back to Discovering SCP 100 and episode 84.
Yes, that's alright.
Is it?
Yeah, it's sorry guys.
What did I just fucking say? By the way, what episode? I said 100 episode 84.
Something like that. Sorry, I can't even tell because I'm distracted right now. You guys can't see it, but I can see Tanhoney in person now.
Yeah, I've got a webcam. Maybe this will one day be on the podcast.
Maybe, yeah. We'll have to think about that. Oh my god.
I'll think of it.
It's just distracting from everything else. I can't even make fun of him if he mispronounces anything today.
Just staring fucking beautiful.
He has such a kind voice. Look at him.
I already the same voice.
He has such a kind looking beard.
This is incomprehensible.
I don't know what to say. It's just weird to me. It's weird finally seeing you. Anyway, what are we? How many articles?
We have maybe 2. We have 1 at least. Maybe 2.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe.
When's the last time we've ever had the high number? It's always 1. We get pretty distracted.
You know how it goes.
Yeah, we get a little bit rowdy on this podcast.
You sure do.
Your eyebrows are just like carrots, like points. I love it. Oh, he's so charming, guys. Alright, what are we reading?
We are reading Thrive to begin with.
We already read Thrive.
No, we didn't.
That's the first one.
No, this is the last one. Obvious.
Really? Then we're done? Did we skip any?
No, that's it. We're done.
That's kind of underwhelming for a canon. I feel like,
sorry.
I don't know. I thought there'd
well,
be
this is
more.
part of like the last in the storyline.
Oh my god, it's so fucking long. Jesus Christ.
He hates reading.
I do. I hate reading! That's why we comic books. Oh, yeah.
Whenever we post anything, it's like, oh, this is so fucking long.
Dude, did I tell you, by the way, I've been winning recently? A little off topic.
Okay, tell me about
it. I saw my niece recently on my dad's birthday. I went to go visit yesterday. And so I was already winning when my niece got into Pokemon. That was like a big deal for me.
Fantastic.
I got to shine. But then we were like hanging out, and she was like making a Google Doc list of all the games we could play together. And then she was talking about all the stuff she's been getting into. She's been getting into Percy Jackson, and now she's getting into manga, apparently. I was like, oh, we just stay fucking winning this whole time.
What manga?
Like some, like, manga about cats, I don't remember. It was like some, like, it was like something for, like, children.
Reading One Piece.
It was like something for children, which made me realize I don't even understand the concept of manga for children, because usually, like, the stuff I read, the youngest stuff's like shonen, like for like teenage boys and stuff. So like I didn't even consider that possibility.
Reference Naruto.
Where's Naruto? There's no ninjas in this.
I
burn the book in front of her.
This is some kiddie shit.
This is some kid shit. That's another thing I realized that made me sad, right? Like, growing up now, because the internet, I feel like, has less and less spaces for kids. It's all, like, conglomerate and social media. She's like, what games can we play? And I was scrolling through all my games, and, like, none of them were appropriate for an 8-year-old except Party Animals. They're all, like, they have blood and stuff, and, like, cursing and bad things.
No,
isn't it sad?
You do not have these games because you are not a child. Is that not an alternate explanation?
No. But she's just like, what can we play together? And the only game I can...
Skate free! She'll love the RP!
Put a worm in your eye, kid.
They'd be like putting worms in their eye on the playground.
Yeah, it was like Minecraft and fucking Party Animals was all I could think of. I was like, those are games you could play. No, Terraria's got blood and, like, cut up bodies and stuff.
Does it? It's like
yeah, when you, like, cut up the worm and shit, and, like, blood spurts everywhere. And, like, the eye.
Sort of thing. It's a monster, though, so it's fine.
She's a very sensitive 8-year-old girl. She's far nicer than me. I'm evil. I kill all the time.
I'm evil pills.
Also, I have taught her, right?
Okay.
It's my fault if she gets bullied. When we play like catch and shit together, we do like anime attack names. Taught her how to do that.
Yeah, you told me this.
Yeah, so I basically if she gets bullied, it's my fault. But she's really cool now, so mission successful. Anyway, what were we talking about? SCPs or something?
Yeah, Thrive. You were talking about how you hate reading.
I hate reading. That's why I have you do it, but. Just this once. I'm willing to read for you if you want.
We're gonna popcorn it between paragraphs? Between, like, scene breaks, I mean?
See, look at the influence we have on each other, right? You've shown me the SCP wiki, you've shown me, like, getting more into writing publishing, and I've taught you about the thing that traumatized most kids in the American school system.
What was this again?
Popcorn, because, like, a lot of kids don't read as well as they should for their grade level, so popcorn, like, for me, it's not a big deal because I was, like, a reading literature head, but sometimes you'd popcorn to a kid and they'd read it, like, a third grade level, and it was just a miserable, traumatizing experience.
This is universal, this is not for America.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought you guys didn't have popcorn in England.
We don't call it that, but we have the concept.
Oh, what do you call it? Lentils?
I don't think it has a name. It's just
beans!
It's time for some beans on sex, okay?
You can't have your meat if you don't eat it. Or wait, no, it's the other way around. You can't have any pudding if you don't eat it. I'm truly
deranged on camera right now.
You do. It's scaring me. I forget how old you are.
Right now, this little posture.
Oh, come on. You're human. You're a handsome
the posture,
chap.
I mean.
Oh, yeah. You gotta fix that.
I look like a quadrupedal organism facing
your
the
back
camera.
Is higher than your head right now. Oh, God.
Mode like shift. You know what I mean?
Yes. No, I haven't read Made in Abyss.
There's a character that snaps their back around.
Do I have to read Made in Abyss now? I heard it was pretty dark.
I've not read it either.
Oh, okay.
But let's get into it. Let's get into it.
Nice. Alright.
First lines. This was it. No more fucking around.
Yeah, just like us.
The squad clanked behind him, battlesuit shimmering in the desert heat. SCP-3396 hung overhead, a second moon trailing a net of glowing blue across the horizon. And that is the original Thrive organism.
It's like a blue moon with mist.
Yeah. Ahead, SCP-3731 poured out the hotels lining the boulevard. Pram ghost throwers! Spectral emulsifier was too clunky for voice command. Gears ratcheted up and down the left arms of their suits. The ghost thrower's battery was powered by a human heart built into the exoskeleton somewhere, its pounding mixed with Garrett's own, drumming wildly at his temples. He swallowed, tasting sweat on his lips. The blues were closing in. The suit beeped as it shot him up with something that made sharp warmth ooze from his body. Loudspeakers on. You still have a chance to cooperate. Go home and wait for Agent... A woman with bone spears jutting through the tiger fur over her skin leapt to him, spinalic. He's done case 53s.
Yeah, that's a timely worm reference, my friend.
Thank you. I know you like worms, so I did that for you. Okay.
Aw, thank you. Guys, everybody, give Tantoni a heart emoji.
All I can think of on the camera is like a fucking Nathan Few episode where he like got the fucking focus group to make him cool. It's like, tell me about your foot massage parlor. Now, do you make this all at home?
Why did we stop watching Audition or whatever?
The rehearsal? I don't know, rehearsal.
We gotta get back on that. I love Nathan.
Have you seen his new show, The Curse?
No, what?
The ending is... It's not like a reality sort of thing, but it's fucked. It's actually horrifying.
It's a comedy drama.
I saw
What's it about?
It wasn't funny, but it was dramatic. It was fucked.
Is it good, or is it like bad fucked?
It's good, but it's fucked.
That's a 2.7 on Google reviews.
Yeah.
Wait, what the fuck? But it has a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. What happened?
We can watch it, maybe.
Is it evil?
It's a little bit evil pills, but let's get into it.
What does he do?
Let's get back into this.
Sorry. We're reading Thrive.
He leapt back, boosters firing in the legs of his suit. A rifle popped to his left and lightning struck her out of the air. All hell broke loose. Mang's rifle spat round after round, bolts cracking down from the sky wherever they hit. The rest of the squad opened up, beams and waves ripping through space alongside bullets and grenades. A person-shaped hole in space bulged and stretched towards the formation, and Garrett twisted his hand in its gauntlet. The stream burst from the nozzle with a sound like a chainsaw cutting through desperate wails. Faint blue light swirling with pained faces washed over the attacking form, ripping away bits of the void surrounding it, until blackened bones showed underneath and the figure crumbled. An alarm chirped in his ear as bullets pinged off of him. The suit held as he swept his arm to the right. Congrats, half was under
the way your eyes bulge as you open the soda.
A dense, shifting cloud of birds. A tall man in a suit with a knot of gears where his head should have been. A many-armed beast that seemed to be made of plush. and 3 that just looked like people with guns. The hungry spirits devoured them all, bulbs bursting in the streetlights, the remains collapsed. The squadron spread out to his left, falling in behind Guterres with his belt Fenric. The bullet barrels churned, but the machine made no sound except the tinkling of shells hitting asphalt. Wherever he pointed it.
Tinkling of shells. Pissing out shells.
Wherever he pointed it, though, gnashing mouths bloomed and chewed themselves mercilessly. The crowd of 3731, now running, fell in swaves as countless teeth devoured them from inside. Tucson would be reclaimed in the name of humanity.
Tucson.
No, I don't have any children.
That's not. How would that even work?
Tucson.
It's pronounced Tucson.
It's just like you walk on and go, Tucson? No.
Tucson?
Child free.
No, thank you. Child free? I'm a Redditor, sorry. No kids. That's what I'm going to tell my future wife. They'll be like, should we have kids? And I'll be like, sorry, Redditor.
Look at my subreddit subscriptions, honey.
Honey, I thought you followed me on Reddit.
Honey, I shrunk the kids and stepped on them.
Because I didn't want them.
They're subatomic now. Sorry.
I think you want a
where
popcorn?
Big Bird went.
Oh my god. Yeah, Tanhoney showed me they shrunk Big Bird. They fucked him up.
No one's doing anything. No one gives a shit. All these so-called friends on Sesame Street don't care. The news don't care.
If you care about Big Bird, we'll be posting a GoFundMe.
What do we fucking pay taxes for, if not for this shit?
Is Sesame Street PBS?
No, I mean, because no one's fucking doing anything.
They don't care.
He's a citizen! Is Big Bird's American citizen? Where is Sesame Street?
I think he's in America. Hold on. Where is Big Bird an American citizen?
We got to establish thing. Where is Sesame Street, first off? It's in Manhattan, apparently. And is he there legally?
Due to being diagnosed with a Muppet character. So if it's in Manhattan, he'd be American, presumably.
Does he have citizenship, is the next question.
Oh, like if he's an immigrant? Well, birds do migrate, so...
Well, yeah, also he's like a creature, so would they accept him as a citizen?
I mean, he talks.
Like, he says he's a bird, but he's huge.
He's important.
He's important to the balance of the world.
If you raise the future generations of America, you get to be an American citizen.
But like,
you know what I mean?
But the government will take any fucking excuse they can get to not help Big Bird because he's dangerous to the bottom line.
You are fucked up.
No, I'm just saying this is from the perspective of them because they know that he's a threat to them.
Is Big Bird canonically an American citizen? Let's see. It doesn't say.
It's yet to be revealed.
Hold on.
Oh, Big Bird was an honorary Knoxville citizen, so he's at least a citizen of Knoxville.
No. Other way around. He says, it says, I've never been an honorary citizen of any place, let alone Knoxville.
But
oh, no, but he was. I see. Okay. We're wasting so much time on... This isn't even, like, content at this point. Anomalous, you should cut out all of this. This doesn't count.
I've never been an honorary citizen of any place, let alone Knoxville, Big Bird said in the PBS clip. Someone attending the ceremony reminded him he was a citizen of Sesame Street's sovereign government, to which he replied, I thought I was just a bird. He knows, because he knows it's not about countries or nations. It's about people. Exactly.
It's about your heart and what's inside of it.
Only Big Bird understands this, and that's why they fucking shrunk him, let's be honest.
Do you think a child's ever been like, Big Bird, thanks for being my friend, no one seems to want to get near me? He's like, oh, no problem. And he's like, let me open up my heart, and just black ooze starts spilling out onto the floor.
But it's kindly ooze.
Kindly ooze.
It's like Zeus. It's like the goo coalesced and became a new Sesame Street character.
So, I think Sesame Street's like a level of like, you know, sweet that like if someone tried to make like a spooky SCP about it, I would not like it. You know what I mean? Because I'm all for like corruption of like innocence type stuff, but it's just like some things have to be immune.
You also have to acknowledge they're on a higher level of like reality. They supersede like anything we can do to them.
Yeah, so like you be like, oh my
it's like fucking living
agent
in Athens and thinking you can do shit to the gods.
Abel would be like, I want a piece of him, and Big Bird would just be like, no, and then he'd fall.
You would try and Abel would try and kill them, he would end up in a segment where he helps Elmo teach spelling.
He's like, let me out of here, please, God. Free me from
Sesame
Sesame
Zone,
Street.
whatever it's called.
yeah, Elmo's World, the domain
Yeah.
expansion.
But he doesn't know how to leave.
Do you want to drink your soda, by the way? I can read this next bit. Yeah, take a sip. High up in the clouds, Armando sat on a floating spiderweb of arms. He looked out at the shimmering orange and purple of the sunrise as the morning broke over the desert sky. About 200 helium-filled arms nestled against each other, locked in a complex crossword puzzle-shaped kinetoglyph, keeping the whole structure stable. Armando had time to reflect up here. Arms he left down below with his companions would alert him to danger, but they had been quiet recently. The Foundation's pestering had grown more and more infrequent, though no one was naive enough to think they had completely given up. Armando tried to remember a time when the Foundation wasn't at the forefront of his mind. He went further and further back. A scared 15-year-old boy sat alone in a derelict garage, shaking. Stupid, stupid! The fossilized pile of toolboxes, car parts, bicycle chains, and assorted junk had collapsed on him. His arm was stuck, possibly broken. Elbows didn't extend like that, he was pretty sure. He struggled to free himself. If he could just get his arm out, he could start putting the pile back together, and then maybe no one would get mad. He wasn't bleeding anywhere, so at least he had that going for him. No blood. The rusty box shifted slightly. Okay, 1, 2, 3. What? He was free, sort of. The arm was, and still no blood. Armando looked at the stump, growing and stretching into a new arm like toothpaste coming out of the tube. He vomited at the sight of the fresh new arm, its freckled red skin blending into his own brown skin at the shoulder. He threw food and toys and a picture of his family in a plastic grocery bag, and he ran. And he didn't stop. He wasn't really free back then. He had tried pulling the new arm off, crushing it, hacking it off. All it ever got him was a new arm and a little more desperation. The new arms felt foreign, gross, invasive. They weren't him. He couldn't even control them, just suggest what they should do. He barely felt anything through them, just vague sensations of heat and pressure. Every new one that appeared was a cruel surprise. Human arms of every color gave way to arms of metal and popcorn and wood. It took him a while to accustom himself. No. No, Tanhoney, you can't have the pudding if you don't finish your meat. Every
But
new day.
Father, I want it.
Father! Every new day he could move the arms a little faster, a little more delicately. Even so, they would twitch and jerk on occasion, as if being moved by someone or something else. What are you talking about?
They go on Twitch TV
Oh, of course.
and check it.
By someone or something else. Twitch used to be good, right?
No.
Back in my day, I remember the early days when it was just in TV, and I remember there was a stream, and it was
Just in
just
TV.
a camera set up in the basement, and it was like a bunch of dogs, and you just got to watch the dogs play and be happy. Now you have to fucking watch
Now those
people
dogs
react
are being
to other
hot tub.
people's... What? The dogs... It's the same show, they're just in a hot tub for some reason. Why is that so funny to me? What was I doing? Sorry. After hundreds of attempts, he eventually lucked out and got two arms similar to his own skin and buried the rest. He tried to live normally, or at least as normally as a runaway with no home or education could. He ended up falling in with the wrong crowd, as his mom would have said. They welcomed his arms, gave him a home, but he still wasn't free. Just another tool in a toolbox. Though he decided a roof over his head was worth letting go of any imagined destiny. The stereotypical one last job went south. Bullets flew through the air. A weird purple fog filled the air, probably from the mystery candy catching fire. The buyer had apparently gotten spooked and ratted them out, hoping either corrupt cops or Los Milagros would kill them over the anomalous guns and drugs. Armando hid behind the stack of crates, trying to find an escape. He was not going to die like this. The black vans pulled up. Agents in all-black tactical gear appeared and cleared the area. A stray grenade exploded near Armando, deafening him and shredding his right arm. He felt the cells regrowing. Not now, you damn arms. Be still, my cursed arm. The agent shot the man who threw it, then approached Armando, whose new right arm was now made of tire rubber. The agent spoke into his comm, and Armando woke up in a concrete cell. He definitely was never free in the Foundation. Endless tests, prodding and poking and pulling at his arms, endless gray, endless tasteless food, and neutral, muted, rehearsed lines from the researchers. He almost broke out once. He fought back against the people keeping him there, but he lost control. He didn't own the arms. He was a slave to them, a host, a victim of their unpredictability. The rush of a chance to escape weakened his hold on the monstrous arms. Their unpredictability killed an innocent and cut his escape short. What would he even do if he escaped? He had realized then that he could never be truly free, so he let them take him back. And there he stayed. Armando had learned the value of eavesdropping at a very young age. He saw fewer and fewer people working at the site, hushed communications, letters and numbers that meant nothing to him. Something 96, something TPK. The evacuation came soon
Total
after.
party kill?
Total party kill, that's right. The evacuation came soon after. Every SCP, every doctor, every janitor, every folder was picked up and thrown in transports. He never got to see what the facility actually looked like from the outside. Sirens, followed by explosions. The truck holding his cell stopped abruptly, then began to melt. The wall of Armando's chamber sparkled and turned into salt, which cracked and crumbled and was blown away in the breeze. A four-eyed woman with translucent white hair and skin lowered her goggles and smiled. "You coming with us? Or you want us to drop you back off at that site?" He took her hand and walked toward his new future. The magical blue matter they had offered him made him feel like he was being baptized. Jesse.
Ready to fire.
Every arm sang along with his soul. They moved like water at a single thought. He could feel the texture of reality through it. So wait, he had this ability before Thrive?
Yeah. And then he got control of it.
Thrive just made it good. Whatever had been moving them before was either dead or had fled in fear at the blue-green that now filled him. His new friends spoke of the future, of a new era dawning. The world had been dipped in this blue matter, they said, and it was only a matter of time before it soaked through completely. Still not fully free, with the Foundation doing everything humanly and inhumanly possible to catch them, but Armando felt he was finally on the right road. It had been almost 4 years since then. The great tree had awakened, and Armando had watched it rise and branch from his cloud perch. Even now, the beautiful fractal of blue and green could be seen off in the distance, stretching into the heavens. He exhaled and closed his eyes, feeling the breeze envelop him. "Look at me, world." And for the first time in his life, Armando felt like he was truly, undeniably free. Popcorn!
It was calling them home. It was calling them to thrive. Tilda Moose and the collection of beings that were once Mobile Task Force Sigma-3 stepped out of the way, leaving the sanctuary of the library's halls. Once, the land on which they stood was called Chicago. Now it was a desert of obsidian, with not a structure in sight. It was beautiful. It was empty. Moose considered going back one final time. There was nothing forcing them to do this. But curiosity was what had defined their life. If it defined their death, then so be it. The truth of humanity's nature, its purpose, lay just ahead. Moose could no more turn back than a drowned man refuse air. The group began to rise in the air, half willing the action themselves and half being carried up by the force above. Moose dimly felt the impact as their physical body was ripped asunder by the detonation of the Foundation's final weapon. It was pathetic, really. Bathed in the life above, they were so far beyond this now. The so-called true remnants of humanity had only harmed themselves. As they approached what they knew to be the source of their power, the old warriors returned once again. Would they be enslaved to this being's will? Would their identities be stripped away and fused into a mockery of life? What was the catch? What was the price? "Why are you doing this?" they whispered with lips of aether. And then came a bolt of understanding. Humanity was never the beneficiary, the purchaser of this power. This fate, this godhood had been determined long ago by whatever forces had born humanity to begin with. And who were they? There was always another secret to learn, and now Moose had all the time in the multiverse to find the answer. Should I keep going then, because that was pretty short?
It's up to you.
I'll keep going. 058 looked out at the burning Pacific Ocean and smiled sadly. "It's still good," he says, "just one more containment." An errant formic wave had washed into the sea and had done something to its chemical structure, turned it into gasoline or something similar. From there it'd only be a matter of time. Heat was everywhere these days, after all. Literally, as it turned out, a stray flow of magma from a nearby tectonic shatter flowed past the 8th Overseer, coming within inches of his shoes. He felt nothing. The shoes weren't even real. He looked up and saw the mutants there, hovering in space and looking down at him. Or at least looking down in his direction. He doubted any of them were paying attention enough to see him specifically. But he could see them through the planet's thickening atmosphere, and was very proud that so many of them had survived. In truth, it was all that he had ever wanted, and he considered himself lucky that so many had been saved to carry the species to new heights. Or distances, he supposed. Space was funny. He had spent so many thousands of years taking care of this absurd little species, watching them grow up, taking their first steps out the oceans to live under the hot sun. If he was being honest with himself, he'd always be more partial to the ocean-going species, but in a surprising twist, they turned out to be less smart than the primates. Or way smarter, he guessed, looking at the senseless destruction all around him. It was hard to tell. But in time, he had grown to love them. He bore their sorrows upon his great shoulders so they could keep going without being crushed. He watched from the depths as they built great cities and pushed the darkness back with their every breath. He'd seen great promise in the Foundation since its inception, but was concerned at the outset that they were a touch zealous. Useless, but after a while necessary. An absolute requirement for human life to go on. No fight about he could have done the job on his own if he put his back into it, but greatly appreciate the Foundation making his mighty burden less heavy over the years. So he chose to watch them from the inside, to steer them in the right direction when he could without toppling them over. He realised now that he had failed hilariously in this pursuit, but thankfully it didn't matter anymore. For the first time, humanity was truly free, and that meant the thing that called itself Overseer 8 could finally let go of the weight it had carried for so long. So he did. And in that instant, he could hear the horrifying, unified roar of thousands of starving abominations from across space, now immediately aware of the Earth's existence.
Wait, so he was, like, keeping Earth secret? I
guess so, yeah.
How did that work before he was born?
Well, he's existed for, like, forever, from the implication.
What the fuck? Okay, so I know, no canon, I know, but like with the amount of sheer insane things, there's like ruleified magic. There are people who, if I don't exist, simply everything will immediately come to you. Like, what is the point of keeping things secret for the Foundation at this point? There is more anomalous shit on Earth than normal shit. You know what I mean? Like, why?
I don't know.
Tell me! You're number 4 on the wiki! Tell me what the reason is!
Must there be a reason?
Yeah, there must.
Can it not simply be... compulsion?
I suppose.
Perhaps it's just mental illness.
Yeah, that's what it seems like at this point. It's like, humans couldn't handle it. Humans are clearly handling it just fine!
No, they can't handle it, they'll go insane.
They're thriving right now!
No, they're not thriving, I can't see it.
They're not human. Kill them all.
No, their SCPs are anomalous now. It's all fucked.
It's like we've gotten so fucking far from the core premise of SCP.
051 like saw a girl spawning guns today. The Foundation has fallen.
It's like, those shitheads. It's like we used to be a real country. It's just like people at Walmart.
Even the summer I eat slop.
Oh.
They began to tear through space like a machete through pudding towards a defenseless and exposed planet. Intent on consuming this next meal, the long line of planets devoured that stretched back to the beginning of time. Are you sure this is how you want to play it? A woman, this is scary, materialised next to the Overseer in a wash of seawater splashed upon the nearby lava and tints up clouds of steam. Oh, she's like an anomaly. No worries.
Damn.
She was incomparably beautiful, clothed in corals and shells and seaweed, with hair as red as blood and skin of alabaster.
Oh, is this Poseidon and Aphrodite or some shit?
She smiled in a way that failed to be anything other than predatory. She was the single most violent, barbaric, and disgusting thing that Overseer 8 was aware of, and she was also his sister. Just like young Sheldon.
Damn. Real? Poor Sheldon, dude.
Fuck him. He replied, "Really? After all this time, you expressed doubt?" She laughed daintily. The Overseer heard it echo through the thousands of mindless creatures that lived behind her eyes, until it became a howling cacophony of bestial hunger. "No, dear, I have no doubts. Merely surprised at your sudden laxity." He snorted and brushed some ash from the lapel of his charcoal suit. "I have no reason to keep holding you back. There aren't any more people for you to devour and enslave, if you haven't noticed already. You and your spawn are free to do as you wish. You have everything you've ever wanted. Freedom, a legion of fanatic servants that you've twisted beyond recognition. An entire cosmos to gnaw on. Go nuts. But I'd leave soon if I were you. There are some disagreeable things on the way, and they'll try to kill us if we're still here." She seemed pensive. Drawn by what, I wonder? The Overseer looked up. The last humans were gone. Us, I think, or perhaps just curious about an active and energetic planet appearing out of nowhere. Either way, they're coming and not for polite conversation. She regarded him with unconcealed curiosity. "But what will you do, my oh-so-serious brother? None of your so-called innocence to keep safe from bad old me. No more Foundation to prop up on your shoulders. Are you going to guard the rocks now? You're doing a terrible job. I think most of them are on fire." He smiled and began to gather his essence around him. I might actually. What's left of them anyhow? What purpose do I have now? I've been defined by death and pain and sacrifice my entire existence. I spent millions of years trying to stop you from munching on the life that gave us our very reason to exist. He chuckled. I am the sorrow of all humanity. I am their pain, their endurance, their memory, their mind and honour. The one who stopped them from being animals, who watched them, taught them, and ministered to their better nature while keeping out the things that wanted to eat them. Our elder brother, in his wisdom, has decided their time has finally come. They don't need me anymore, and they don't need you either. If they ever did, they're beyond us now. What am I going to do? My dear, I'm going to do what I've always done. I'm going to endure. I will shoulder a burden most heavy. The overseer pulled from the colossal anchor as long as he was tall, covered in rust and barnacles and twisting nearby space with its sheer cosmic mass. The sum total weight of all humanity's pain, sadness, anger, and anguish and determination to exist through it all. The burden they had left behind. It entered real space with a subtle boom that extinguished every fire in a 100-mile radius. He hefted the great weapon and laid it across his shoulder, where it always belonged. He looked to the stars, where noble predators from the far reaches of reality shrieked down towards them. Will you join me? The woman, the hunger, lust, ferocity, and rage of what had been mankind, grinned wide, showing teeth that had bitten through continents and ages long since past. This once, brother, I will. Let us teach them how to fear. She disappeared.
They're going to go all out. Who's this one?
An ocean of pale flesh, rotting and shrieking, made of the corpses of thousands of years of the planet's most furious dead, exploded from beneath the bedrock of North America. The avalanche of wrathful corruption drowned its tendrils in the bones of the earth and yawned its many maws, reaching upward towards the sky in desperate need of the violence that gave it its heart. The man who is not the Foundation's eighth overseer armoured himself in plates of the purest stone, hewn from the agony and valour of Earth's most secret and worthy dead. He gathered what remained of the planet's ocean around him and rose. The last night, the eternal guardian of the soul of humanity, ascended to fulfill his oath, and together they waged their final war.
So that was neat and all, but, like, forgive me for saying, but, like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah,
like, they vaguely mentioned 058 was, like, on Thrive's side in another article, that's it. And now he's like, I am the god of humanity who created the Foundation, and I am also the Giga Man. Like, who the fuck is this guy?
I don't know. I'm not familiar if this is, like, other law.
Yeah. It just seems very sudden. Anyway, I assume you want to popcorn and drink some more of your soda pop?
Thank you.
Little sips? It's okay, I've got you. Allow me. 051 strode out of the ruins of his bunker, his face a mask of rage and grief. They had protected humanity for so long. Humanity was imperfect, it was chaotic, and it was the only thing he'd ever loved. And now he was finally alone. Wait, how does this follow up from the last thing we read where they were like, we're going to blow everybody up?
He's on the bit that hasn't quite disintegrated.
A truth that had been figurative for over 2,000 years is now literal.
Jesus! No.
The irony was piled at his throat. He stared at the new blue star and let out a roar of frustration. He poured every sacrifice, every tragedy, every Montauk, and every victory into his voice. When he fell silent, a little of him remained. I'd do it all again. All of it, 1,000 times over. Even if I knew, I would still fail. He straightened up and began to pace. I see you in the sky, rising to a final betrayal with a being that is nothing more than a mockery of true life. You abandon everything your ancestors have built, everything we have shed blood to protect. I know this is the end. I can feel life itself leaving this world. But had you stood with us rather than against us, we could have won.
Conceive.
We could have endured as we've always endured, survived as we've always survived.
Just one more containment.
But you were seduced by power. You may have become gods, but that is something less than human, not more. Wow, this guy's a hella humanist. This is like Endgame Redditor. The present isn't worth the loss of the future and the past.
You were almost good.
051 stopped and turned to face someone who wasn't there. Hello, Fritz. Didn't know I'd ever teach you that it's rude to interrupt a soliloquy. Nobody said nothing. You always stood with us, but when I needed your guidance more than ever, you were gone. Why? Nobody said nothing. We'll both be dead soon. Just tell me why. For the sake of everything we sacrificed on the altar of our ideals. Tell me why you abandoned them.
Joseph, it wasn't the greater good anymore.
Jigsaw?
Neither being spoke again. Yeah, the wanderer had ended his journey, and nobody was never no one. Okay, yeah, this just feels like there's a lot of foundation knowledge I'm supposed to have outside this article. Because, like, what the fuck is any of this happening for?
In low Earth orbit, an entity was still, watching with its many steel eyes. It glinted in the light of the faraway sun. Spires of dull towering metal drifted in the cosmic wind, each with a glowing orange core, each the size of a small city. The constructs contained enough power to vaporize star systems. With one thought, the entity at the centre of this grand iron cathedral could gaze upon light years of space and reduce them to a hot slurry of base particles. Its cannons, reactors, generators, armour and power were infinite in the truest sense of the word. Its disparate network of machines floated in the void, orbiting around one locus. Nestled at the heart of this assembly of endlessly destructive engines was the form of a human woman, small and unimpressive, an afterthought, kept only out of a sense of vague respect for what the entity used to be, a nostalgic figurine. Skin of pure elemental iron, the entity's favourite, and gentle fairy globe could be seen between the plates, a hint of the furnace at his heart. The small figure looked at his own hands and wondered. It was still known to itself as Monica. I know firepower! She had more or less lost her humanity completely. She was no longer a person, she knew it. Either that or the definition of humanity had changed forever. She kept her name and the memories of what she used to be. Her knowledge was as close to complete as it could have been, after devouring and integrating most of what used to be the internet and the secure database of the erstwhile United States, but she found herself incapable of forgetting, and she didn't want to. There were others near her, the survivors who had ascended alongside her, who she had led to absolution. There was the thing that once called itself Dozer. He and his engineers, who had always been fast friends, had elected to encase themselves in stone and fuse, becoming one mind. Now they formed a monolithic citadel of beautiful white and black statuary, with miles of carvings of people and houses and plants and bygone civilizations, which moved within the halls and spires and drifted in the solar breeze of life of their own. Memories of where they had come from, hewn of rock and given new life to stand for all time. Ogre and Violet were there as well. On their last day before leaving Earth, they had married and wove their essences together. Now they exist as a great menagerie of plants and animals across dozens of floating islands with their own pockets of breathable air and gravity. On the large style were two thrones in which the two lovers sat and looked down upon the lives they had saved with pride and affection, determined to find a place where Earth's treasured creatures could live anew. And there was Norman. He was nameless now, a moon-sized mass of flesh swathed in a sea of luminous and rich blue-green water. Great leviathan shapes could be seen moving under the waves of its surface, creatures of Norman's own design which had taken on a strange and alien existence of their own. His mind unreeled for light years in all directions, hunting for minds to discover and learn, relentless in his quest for learning and enlightenment. And there were many thousands of others, each with shapes incredible and unique, every one an expression of a human mind let loose from the constraints of mere possibility. Below these gods, the planet they had once called home burned and shuddered. Can I come back to you for a bit?
Sure. Little life remained in the wake of the destruction that the Foundation had wrought, and their desire to remain the only true humans. They had cracked the continents with their bombs and boiled the seas in their technological rage. The energies whirled, and all the while the blue simply existed, uncaring and unmoving in the face of all their wrath. The tree had grown until it was no longer a tree. It became a sprawling ecosystem of its own, a huge network of glowing aquamarine tendrils that had sprouted and overtaken most of the western United States. And once the world began to burn, it left. It ascended into the sky, a massive aggregate of interwoven strands that glowed, indifferent to the suffering and destruction. It blossomed and writhed languidly in orbit with the ones that it had changed, reacting to nothing, simultaneously comforting and terrifying. This is what would have happened if you hadn't burned the Erd Tree in Elden. I think unironically that is what would have happened. Wasn't it like a parasite?
Yeah, I think it's implied like there's like many Erd trees on like different planets or like dimensions and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like when you're fighting the well, this is spoilers for Elden Ring, by the way. When you're fighting the last boss, you can see like thousands of Erd trees.
It ascended into the
sky.
A massive aggregate of interwoven strands that glowed, indifferent to the suffering and destruction. Oh, sorry, I already read this. Monica had never had great love for the Foundation, but now understood what a purpose they had served. They had chained back thousands of humanity's unseen and immortal foes. They had been the bedrock upon which civilization rested. Why are we wanking the Foundation? I loved it so much when it was like, oh, we're overthrowing the status quo, we're making war over people. Now it's just like back to Foundation wanking and O5s being gods. I'm not a fan of this whatsoever. This is like depressing me. This was such a cool canon, bro. For so long, they had been salvation itself, and she knew that it was likely that without them she would not exist. She supposed it was fitting, then, that they had decided to die upon finally being rendered obsolete. Humanity no longer needed them, and in their rage at their loss of purpose, they had chosen to self-immolate rather than go on. Better, right track. This is like when fucking people glaze Sakuna right before they get owned. It's
so
like,
how
wow.
was the Foundation?
For real. Before the end, she had spoken with some of them. She had become too powerful to threaten by that time, and wanted them to see reason. Surely eternity was worth letting go of some outdated principles and prejudices. Surely the definition of what was anomalous no longer mattered, and they could come to see that it was senseless to prolong such a futile struggle.
But all they said was one more containment, just one more, bro.
Just one more. But they spat in her face and chose the fire instead. They would rather normalcy be absolute than live one more day sharing a planet with such unclean and abhorrent monsters. And so Monica saved who she chose to leave, and left them to their blaze of glory. For all intents and purposes, they had been humanity itself, but that no longer meant what it used to. The future was so much larger than a ball of rock ruined by those that chose to burn eternity to salvage the past. Out there was possibility, potential. The far bounds of reality failed to care that humanity yet existed, that they had come upon the cusp of their apotheosis. But Monica swore that she would make them care. They would sear their sign upon the stars themselves. They would thrive and quake the pillars of creation with their advent. She shed one final tear, a droplet of molten metal that drifted into the expanse, a memento for those that had fallen to ignorance and pride and pointless strife. She signaled to her people, and they left the Earth behind to seek their fate in the cosmos. Alone in its orbit, the Blue, the Empyrean parasite, the ineffable creature of secret inner fire that had been first among all of life, saw. The results of its work were painted across eons, and this latest thread it had woven into the great tapestry pleased it to no end. There had been such potential here, and now it was realized in full. It would need to be to withstand what was to come. It laughed, a quiet sound that buckled the stars in their stride and twisted space itself in a paroxysm of primal joy. A victory well won. And it also laughed, to see if the grand defenses of this reality were yet strong enough. I think... I liked this canon, but I think they sort of jumped the shark. Is that the right term? Maybe it's not.
But
like, it's just like...
the right phrase, I think, yeah.
It's too much in scope, yeah. So I feel like what would have made this ending more powerful is if we had developed these O5s being all special. If we had developed Monica and these other characters. The only real narrative thread we got was Shape of a Gun, which was beautiful, by the way. I still love that article. But, like, a lot of the other apotheosis was just, like, events happening.
Right, okay.
Badass fights. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like they have this big emotional buildup of everything that's going forward. And, like, now they're gods who can sail the stars and humanity's gone. Oh, but are they strong enough yet for the even greater threat? It's like, there's so much, like, wanking going on and all this shit, and like we don't even know these characters or like have any stakes in this. It's like so beyond what we can even comprehend as people that it almost feels purposeless. You know what I mean?
I get you.
Like if there was a,
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the imagery, the prose. It was all very good.
Of course.
But for example, like 058, like that didn't quite work for me because I don't know if I missed something or forgot something. But who's this guy?
Yeah, they mentioned him briefly in one of the things. He was like the first guy who was like, we should just join the Thrives or whatever, I think. But like, I might be misremembered, but it's just like, I don't know. I don't want to be the guy who's like, oh, SCP suck, they're all about end of the world, and that's bad. But like, I feel like they had some real momentum at the beginning of this canon. And like you said, prose, and like the writing was all beautiful, but like, I feel like they really missed a chance to make this ending hit home. It just felt like it was a lot of like flowery writing and prose without any real meaning behind it or like emotional payoff. I was just like, oh, okay, so they're all space gods and there's some even more incomprehensible larger threat out there. Like, it was literally it was like how Studio Trigger always does their endings with like fucking Gurren Lagann, Darling in the Franxx, all that shit. fucking Kill la Kill, where it's always like, oh, you thought you defeated the real enemy, but now there's the big space enemy. He wanders out there. The Spiral. You thought the Spiral King was your enemy? No, it's the anti-Spiral.
Well, that was like halfway through the series, though.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, I don't know. I appreciate it for what it was. I'm not trying to shit on you, Modern Erasmus, or the canon as a whole. Overall, it was a fun read.
Superhero sort of setting I thought, because that's what it is. Yeah. It's X-Men. It's a little bit X-Men.
Yeah. I just wish we had gotten a little bit more articles in the line of Shape of the Gun, and a little bit more before we get to whatever the fuck this is.
Yeah, because I have to admit, this may be because of like the time between reading, I didn't remember all these guys. It's like, so this is what happened to Roger.
I vaguely remembered Armando. I remember Monica.
Yeah, I remember Armando and Monica. They were very memorable, but the other names I wouldn't have. I recalled as much.
Yeah, but overall, I'll be nice. I'll give this one a
I give
7
it
out of 10.
I did enjoy it.
Okay, yeah, I'll give it a 7 out of 10 myself. He gives it +1. I'll upvote it, but just know, my eyes. I don't know about that one. You said you had another. Do we have time for it, you think?
I think we have time. This was a short one. It was recommended in the Discord server.
Oh, I love recommendations. Wait, hold on. Webcam Tanhoney reading recommendations? Who are you?
My name is Tanhoney.
He's devilishly smiling. It's not him! It's an imposter! Oh,
yes, keep reading.
What is that voice?
That's Twin Peaks voice. Let's rock.
I love rock.
This is SCP-4420. This is called A Potato First by Lieutenant Flops.
Oh, Flops! I remember Flops.
Displaying archived documentation. SCP-4420. Class Euclid. Destruction Class Kennek. We have a picture of it here. It's like some sort of fruit. A potato.
Looks like the top of someone's bald ass head. There's like a little dent in it. It's all red. Why did you move your hand to your own head?
It's okay. It's funny.
Are you okay? No, I didn't mean you. It's just maybe it's like a turnip. Yeah, when I think about it, or a potato. Are you okay?
Do you call it like a turnip?
No, the picture, not you. You are beloved. No.
Special containment procedures. SCP-4420 is situated in a secure position. Why am I like in the fucking Zoom call right now?
You're all stanced up.
In the Site 82 Arboretum.
It's like when they put trees and shit.
Sensitive Containment Module 819 regulates the entrance to an artificial pocket dimension large enough to confine the SCP. We can just do that. Containment technicians have installed 4 synchronized Scranton-Marlowe topology stabilizers, which maintain dimensional stability inside the module.
Oh, we the Foundation have to keep people from all the anomalous shit. Casually creates pocket dimension.
It's fine. I had to use a machine. The blue shit didn't do it.
It's not hypocritical. Shut up. Remember when we just had to throw a statue in like a shit cell?
Exactly.
Back in my day.
This is like, we lost it in a 5D class to 173 this month. Can we have a reality anchor? The budget is the budget.
There's not enough
You got $10 and be grateful.
Description.
That's a good idea, actually. Maybe we story about how the guy in charge of 173 is just embezzling massive amounts of the budget.
Yeah, they're like, why do you take as much to contain as this thing that's in like another dimension?
We do
like, don't worry about
the scenes, okay? There's no he tells everyone else that he's like, oh, we got so much shit. We got reality anchors. We got fucking artificial vision modules to keep it still.
Yeah, it's like a bare bones room, and they have like one janitor scrubbing the floor.
All the money he claims we spend on like the anomalous shit, he just keeps.
And instead of doing something super easy and simple to keep it still, he just has 2 guys take turns drinking. People die
he's
all
like,
the time.
Dying in here is like finding his face and money.
Yeah, he's in what's a place rich people go? He's in Hawaii.
He's like
a million miles away.
Ahoy, ahoy.
Alexander Bell Graham?
It's like, sir, we need more equipment. He's like, sorry, you're breaking up. Oh, margaritas for me.
A little hand wave he did. Oh, I love webcam Tanhoney.
Description. SCP is a red Idaho potato with a current mass of 400 million kilograms and external dimensions of 150 meters by 65 meters by 55 meters. The SCP displays the following ectoentropic properties. The SCP responds to moisture shrinkage, 5% every 2 weeks, by generating a new amount of moist potato matter. During this event, a random Idaho citizen's drinking water transforms into starch-rich potato-flavoured water, which grants the ability to commune with potatoes for 3 to 10 hours after consumption.
Ooh.
Fantastic. Exposure to... What does the potato have to say?
What? What'd you say?
You can commune with the potatoes, but what can they tell you? What do they perceive?
Stop using us to make clocks. It hurts, please. Why do people do
That's
that to
why we
potatoes? They're like, I'm trying to reach my cousin in your pantry. He's reaching his tendrils.
There's like clasped hands.
Yeah,
they die
curl around
hands
each other
before the hands could reach each other.
No, that's so sad. Why did you write it like that? That's so sad.
He's like, just a little bit more, Barry. Barry's already dead.
He didn't thrive.
Barry, thrive!
Wait, did Thrive? Do you think Thrive affected like plants and
I hope
animals?
so. It's like, we humans are finally ascended to God, and we get stabbed in the back by like a carrot.
Yeah, the
It's
Pumpkin
like,
King is like sitting on his.
your reign for too long. The blue
Allow me to
wasn't for
introduce
you.
We are the children of the corn.
Quite literally. He peels his face off and there's just corn behind it.
Alright, number 2.
Exposure to electromagnetic radiation, a human visual spectrum. 400 nms, 700 nms. Produces,
nanometers.
That's what I said. Produces potato matter of a randomized form. This matter relates to potatoes at various conceptual levels, be that immediate or vague. This new matter grows alongside the SCP and attaches itself via esoteric means beyond current agricultural understanding. Observed forms include any variation to 5,000 potato varieties grown globally,
including other anomalous potatoes, like
Sheldon?
3314.
Like Sheldon.
types of cooked potatoes such as mashed potatoes, French fries, and potato chips. 1996 Idaho County Junior League Potato Sack Race champion Michelle Brown, age 6.
Oh my god.
Was like copies of that.
They have backups.
We are the children of the potato. A species of Jerusalem cricket, colloquially known as potato bug, composed of sweet potato. These insects have infested 8% of the SCP to date. Mimetic ennui, affecting 10% of persons within a 5-kilometer radius. 3. The SCP displays evident immunity to decay. It thrives. The SCP consumes most organic irregularities almost immediately after their growth and produces healthy potato matter in their place.
Nice.
The SCP consumes food and organic waste within 20 meters of its surface. Any nearby organic material transforms into potato YouTuber of equal mass and teleports into the SCP. This includes small animal.
Can we get a potato VTuber? Or just, it's a VTuber, but it's just a potato girl or whatever? That'd be sick.
You know, it's like those figures like, I drew the brands as anime girls. It's like, I drew different kinds of potatoes as anime girls.
Hell yes.
Idaho chat.
Idaho Chan. I love Idaho Chan.
This includes small even after the controversy.
Oh, well, hold on. I didn't know about that. It's always weird when you're like, I'm a fan of X, and someone's like, you didn't hear they killed puppies in their spare time? Yeah, it's like, ooh.
This includes small animals to 5
kilograms
in mass. As of current documentation... Sorry?
Watching your brain freeze in real time.
As of current documentation,
sad.
you see the deterioration.
Yeah.
The SCP has been growing for 22 years.
They're playing the sad TikTok music in the background. It's like, oh, my love. And you're like going crazy over time. Oh, look at him. There's no light in his eyes. He's gone. Hello? Are you upset, Tan?
Yeah, I'm fine.
This serves no content in the episodes, just for me. That's how much she loves me. It's entertainment just for me.
Let us know in the comments if you want to see my fucking face.
Alright, we have updates.
Yeah, there's updates for you, please. Tell me about it.
Okay. Updates. 1. 10 May 2019. Field researchers discovered foreign fluid with trace amounts of thalmic contaminants in the local groundwater. The Site 82 Operations Command Office initiated Mandate 373-OV91. we read that.
Yes,
right?
Thrive.
Is that
Thrive
Thrive?
juice.
I knew it.
Thrive juice.
Which calls for immediate lockdown and destruction of foreign substances. Security staff considered the lockdown successful within the hour.
You know, if I saw
Because
some
of its-
Thrive juice, I would slurp that shit.
It's like slurp juice from Fortnite. Because of its containment. Look, by the way, did you hear they added the chicken to Fortnite?
I was going to say Metal Gear Solid, but the chicken from Family Guy?
Yeah.
Does he fight Peter Griffin?
Yeah.
Nice.
Like it's a skin you can buy.
Oh,
So you can fight the Peters.
I thought it'd just be like an in-game war.
What's fucked up is the chicken looks fat like it does in the show, but not Peter. So, I don't even know what the excuse is anymore.
He looks awful. I have to admit, the Peter Griffin skin, I don't like it.
Yeah. Wow. And so the truth comes out. Controversial take.
He doesn't look like him. He's like a weird modded DeviantArt version.
Interesting. Because of its containment, however, the SCP remained unaccounted for. At 2151 CDT, 4420 absorbed thermic fluids and developed sapience lasting for 32 hours. What the fuck? What is that?
What? 32 hours? It's
Yeah.
a unit of time.
No, you have like a little... You put something in your eye.
It's the dice. I'm holding up dice. It's not
Oh.
confusing.
I thought you were like inserting something.
New eye just dropped.
During this time, it displayed the ability to manipulate informational constructs. 4420 then disseminated 362 SMS messages to on-site staff. A series of received messages is as follows. Can you see me? Please look at me. I'm big. Look at me. Do you think I'm pretty? Is that what I really look like? No way. Is that how you see me? You can't see me like this. I'm not good enough, am I? Not for you. How could I be? Leave me alone. I'm a monster. I'm sorry I look this way.
Sam Potato realised it's a potato.
12 May 2019. At 5:51 CDT, at 4420 ceased all anomalous growth and displayed signs of accelerated decomposition. The SCP has been reclassified.
It killed
Did
itself.
it kill itself? Why?
Because it was so ugly.
Okay, so this article made me giggle. Upvote 9 out of 10, but like also what? Why? That's so sad.
It understood that it was a potato.
Why did you become more British when you said potato?
Because
Potato. Oh, just me and my wee little farm. Don't worry about it. Actually, it's more Irish, if anything. Why are you pretending to be Irish, Dan, as a British man? Tell me. Oh, that face. Uh-oh, got caught with a sound in the cookie jar.
sorry.
All right, hold on. We have some comments to read, okay?
Con. Yeah,
What the fuck are you doing?
I was doing con.
Gotcha. Chris Merkel Studio says, "Great episode, guys, and good to have you back." Oh, I think
Sorry.
he's clapping. I think it's actually pretty funny that while the American War for Independence was the most important time in American history, for the British it was Tuesday. Makes sense given how much longer the history of Great Britain is compared to that of America. Notice how this guy says Great Britain and not United States of America? Very interesting to
We're
me.
not very united, though, are you?
Damn. That was a good one.
If you're united, there'd be no need for different states.
Yeah, and with all the shit Texas is doing right now.
Exactly. We need to figure out what's going on.
Yeah. There's literally not enough time to teach British school kids about every time a colony had a successful uprising and achieved independence. Sounds like you guys have taken a lot of L's. So it makes sense that Brits have no opinions about Benedict Arnold. Most of them probably have no idea who he was. That's so sad! Benedict Arnold gave his life and his reputation for you people, and you cast him away.
King George was like, how weak.
There are no British
You failed to
teachers.
slay Washington.
I like to think there's one
return.
quirky British history teacher that like cries, and he's like,
He's like,
Benedict.
he gave everything.
He gave everything, and you all don't care.
He's like,
Just on their
Dark Knight
phones.
Rises, like one of the other spies, like, Benedict, you gave the British everything. He's like, not everything, not yet.
He was like Kimmel for the British. It was like
Exactly.
unrequited love that he gave freely. Although I do think it would be funny if the new
He was
internet
like
bit was like,
what's the king from Elden Ring? What's his name?
Godfrey?
No, the one who's like foul tarnished.
Margit?
Yeah, it's like the thing in his soul is like he was not loved in return by the for he was never loved, but loved it he did.
No! Benedict Chan! God, I want a Souls game now that's just like based on the revolution. It's like killing all the people.
It's like George Washington walks into like the fucking castle, is like foul revolutionary in search of independence.
have it writ upon thy meagre state.
Slain by King George, last of all kings.
I mean, he kind of was, right?
Yeah.
After that's been all queens.
Well, we've got a king right now, but let's be honest, he's not.
Does he count the pedophile king?
No, he might be a pedophile, but he's not like the known pedophile.
Oh, I thought it was.
He probably is, though.
Yeah. MT2K21
But it's like,
says,
let's be honest, we don't have him for long.
Ooh, what happened? Is he dying?
Well, he's old.
Who's next?
I don't know.
Henry?
Who fucking gives a shit? Who cares? They're
Yeah,
all the
when are you
same,
guys gonna just get
and
rid of
they're
your
all
stupid
equally
fucking monarchy?
Fucking worthless.
Yeah, why don't you guys get rid? Like, legitimately, why don't you get rid of them? All I ever hear anyone say is it's like either tradition, which is like conservative
Taurus is fucking
bullshit.
bullshit.
I looked at your
Taurus,
list. It's
let
not.
me go into his house and look at him like he's in a zoo.
You know what the thing is? I looked into it too. Not even in the top 10 revenue generators for England.
We can build a Disneyland there. Go to the castle. Disneyland.
Then you get some tourists.
Yeah, exactly. Disneyland right in the middle of Buckingham.
Build Colonyland. It's all the places you guys colonized. You can get different kinds of food there.
Yeah, racism land.
Racism
Full of all
land.
sorts of racist stereotypes.
Yeah, people
It's
love
like
that.
fucking Bioshock Infinite.
I mean, if you think about it, Buckingham Palace is already kind of racist. Land.
Exactly.
It's just being more honest about it.
Exactly. We need to do something to it.
MT2K21
I can't say that on a
says...
YouTube video though.
Oh, okay. Well, hello guys. Look who just bought the Buckingham Palace. It's me, Mr. Beast. We're gonna go on a house tour.
I was looking for this comment. What is up? Today we are finishing what Guy Fawkes started.
MT says, senior researcher, these SCPs are very hostile and must be neutralized. Junior researcher, aren't they mad because we're trying to kill them? Senior, well yes, but actually no. Shaithalia says, at this point, just activate 2000. Actually true.
Then get the blue on them.
Yeah, that's true. Arcadian Lakshya says, good morning, and great episode, guys. I know it's been a while because like half of these are new names I don't recognize.
These are
and
people
new
who joined
fandom has grown.
during the hiatus, the fresh crop.
Yeah. I love the fresh crop. Good morning and great episode, guys. It's been a while. I think I missed an episode. I love the Apotheosis canon. However, I want to recommend two other canons for you. One is actually a side timeline with a larger canon, War on All Fronts, and Anastasis. The other I've recommended before, and it's the Red Tape canon by Rounderhouse. Actually, that canon just had another tale added to it last weekend.
Yes.
Also, the Whore of Blood canon. I've heard about Whore of Blood vaguely before. Is that good?
I've not read it, to be honest.
Why are all SCP canons like Apotheosis, Whore of Blood? It's never just like the Scrunkly team.
Because you want to grab
Street.
people's attention.
I guess it's never anything like a little bit more pulled back. It's never like
Well, we don't know what the
mystery.
canon's about. Maybe it's about the horror
The mystery on Talarico Street. It's always like John Doe and
It's
his,
a very limited canon setting.
his Sarkic, who lightning. Quaker Button-O says, Darnell asked if there was a list of short articles somewhere on the site. On the user-curated lists page, there's a list of short SCPs titled Flash Fiction. There's a good selection of stuff, and every article has one-liner quote from it included underneath to give you a taster of what it's like. I'd highly recommend it if you want to fill 5 minutes of airtime with something short but can't think of an article to read. You should write that down somewhere.
Sure.
Notepad. Ripalu says, another great episode. Thanks for making my days better. Oh, thank you, Ripalu.
Thank you.
Ballora Silviana. Okay, these are definitely like a new crop of fans. I don't recognize these names. Welcome, guys. We're so happy to have you. Ballora Silviana Princess Ruby says, happy 2024 New Year's. Bye, discovering SCP and Darnell SCP channel.
Thanks.
Okay. Omnigas
Discovering
2054.
SCP and Darnell? Wait, what?
I'm separate.
What does this mean?
Omnigast says, second ep of the year. OMG, I finally caught up for the 4th time and I'm leaving my first comment. I love the podcast. Thank you, Omnigast. Happy to have you. Gayhalt Nils goes, a second episode! Yippee! Sarah's second episode is hit Tanoni Towers.
Interesting.
And lastly, an Anomalous Writer says, second ep of the year. Let's go! Thank you, Anam Nam. Mwah. I love you, Nami Nam. I think that's everything, right? Am I free
think
now?
so as well. Yeah.
You'll release me? Promise?
Release you. Sure.
No.
You'll be released from this place.
Puts a gun to my head.
You'll be released from
All
it
right.
all. Now
See you guys
fry,
next-
you son of a bitch.